I will do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
And please, not bringing up today, John.
right. Okay, this is my stuff. I can refresh myself. Which minutes do you have?
Yes.
Does anybody have any comments, questions, amendments, corrections, deletions? Otherwise, can I get a motion to adopt them as written?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Police, you got anything else you want to say?
Not on the police. There's new information on the half marathon run.
Well, let's wait till we get to that. How is police working?
Well, they're filling in with the lack of part-timers with the full-time officers. I don't always have that scheduled to know who is filling in, but most of them stop in. Not all of them, most of them.
But we don't have this schedule.
The schedule's got holes in it for January. So,
Throughout January,
yes,
and then starting February.
it'll be the same. It'll be the same until the 14 officers, like there's 12 or 14 officers in the academy right now. And they will be available probably in June. So it will be for the next 4 months.
Well, is there any reason why we can't know who's scheduled?
Yes, because when they deal with full-time officers, they don't always know who's going to be on because it may be a literally day before for that officer to fill in, or if he's got, how did they explain it to me? He's got to make up time, or so they don't schedule them, or they can't schedule them for this sector.
How do we know we have one?
Because the squeaky wheel wants to know, I always ask. So I've got several emails that I sent out 2 weeks ago to both the chief and to the sergeant. And they both explained to me and assured me that there would be somebody covering Charlie 48, dedicated, not.
Useful if we could find out,
Mhm.
even if it's the day of,
Mhm.
who is on the shifts for that day.
I try to get that information.
That should not be impossible.
It's not impossible, it's just the sergeant.
Last minute.
I'm not his only issue,
Squeaky
but
wheel.
I'll try. I will send the email out and ask
How
them. if they
many
can just
other
send-
villages are they staffed?
They, no other village in the town of
I know
Southampton
that.
is dedicated like we are, you know, that we have a dedicated officer. So when they do Noyak, North Haven, it's not, they only dedicate an officer over there in the summertime.
Well, that's why I'd like them to just let us know who's been designated. on that
Like I
day.
said, most of the time they stop in, but I will ask the question, I'll send it out again.
Okay. Okay, now you can go when you have.
Okay, so they go back to us on the bathrooms. There will be 3 in the village. One is by Sag School on Sagaponic Road, not Sag Main Street. On the north side of the street, western end of the school parking area.
Mhm.
And there will be one on Town Line Road, I'm not sure where. It says south of number 603 along the fence of the farm. Do you know where that is?
Oh, it's probably down by Babinski's.
That's not town line.
Babinski's, sure is. Babinski's farm comes up. It's
Oh,
an L shape.
the farm.
Yes, the
Okay.
farm, the field itself.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the farm stand. And then on Daniels Lane at the corner of Fairfield Pond on the northeast corner.
Are these people especially incontinent?
Well, it's we have a marathon. I guess they want to,
And then there's 3 more in Bridgehampton.
We've never had that many pet stops
you know, Don,
inside a pond.
I can't,
She said this is what they did in prior years.
right. So,
They had 3.
They had 6.
that's it. Well, 3 in Sagaponic and 3 elsewhere.
And then with regard to trash pickup, my team has dedicated a course sweep van that ensures all refuse is collected after the race. We do this in conjunction with retrieving our tables and water coolers.
And urinal water.
The water coolers, I'm sure, are at the bathrooms
Oh,
and with
Yeah.
tables and
so
whatever.
you can fill her up and.
Fill her out.
Fill up at one and empty out the other.
And that's it.
All right. Do we want to approve that?
I make a motion to approve it.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Discussion items. First one. Brian, you looked over the draft that Tony submitted, and you think it does the job?
Yeah, I think that, thank you, Mayor. I reviewed the proposal, that paragraph amendment of 245-7D. I think that definition is fine, especially when combined with our zoning code definition of family, which is the current code or current version that's approved by the courts. So I think that 245-7D would be recommended for adoption.
And if you don't have copies
They will have copies of the proposal.
in here,
Yes.
I'd like to see if we can get a public hearing set for it.
You want to do it on February 9th or February 16th? 9th is your planning work session.
I do it at the 9th. I don't
Okay,
think it's going to be okay.
I need the motion and second.
Yes, can I get a motion to set the public hearing on the I don't know what to call it.
Single family.
Fractional.
Dwelling use. Can I get a second?
Second.
All
Need
in
the motion,
favor?
I'm sorry. Karen? Okay.
Okay, meat floors. You wish to speak?
Michael? Michael, put your,
Yes,
there you go.
am I up?
Yes.
Oh, great. Well, thank you for taking the time to readdress this issue. I think that the regulations you enacted last year really helped. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but many people have thanked me for changing the quality of life, and you guys are obviously had the major part of that. So I'm back again this year because, as you may know, East Hampton has enacted a ban on gas-powered leaf blowers for the summer months. And I feel that Sagaponic would benefit from a similar law. I don't know, did you guys have a chance to read my letter? I don't.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I don't want to go back over that, belabor those points. But But, East Hampton found the health and welfare of the residents to be at risk, as well as the health of the landscape workers by gas-powered lawn mowers, leaf blowers, excuse me. So I feel that it would be a minimal hardship on the landscapers to change to electric blowers at this point. The way the economics of it work, they basically pay for themselves after one day. It's not like we're retooling a gas or coal power plant, So I think this is a good opportunity to make a change that'll benefit the quality of life in Sagaponack. A lot of, I don't know if you looked at my list, but Malibu, Santa Barbara, Washington, DC, many places have decided that these gas-powered blowers should be banned at least seasonally. And California, for instance, is going to ban them altogether to encourage a transition to electric, which are quieter, don't produce any toxic emissions. I mean, I'm sure you understand what the situation is here. So my proposal is that we change our regulations to ban gas-powered leaf blowers from May 20th to September 20th. This will give the landscaping industry a transition period to move to electric. And I feel that those people who need their lawns done can have electric blowers, so that the people who want really tidy lawns can have that. But the time has come to change the law a bit. So I'm back again, and I apologize. I know this is a time-consuming issue, but I think it's really important, and will really change the quality of life in town. We've all lived here. I've lived here for 50 years. And the quality of life in this town has kind of get eviscerated over time, and we've had to push back. You lowered the speed limit, you changed the construction laws so that there could be no construction on Sunday. There's all these commercial interests that are trying to push up against our quality of life. Even the dogs on the beach had to be regulated. It's just these quality of life issues that have to be addressed. And this leaf blower thing, I think, will make a big difference. So I'm hoping you'd be willing to do that. I don't know if you noticed, but I had asked people, I'd sent out a very brief email for the residents to respond and support. And I hope that you guys got some letters. I didn't really make an effort to poll the community yet because this all happened in a week, but I hope you got some letters that are in support of this resolution.
Many.
We did, Michael, and the
Okay.
board has the list. I actually got,
Could you review what our regulations are now? What are the permitted hours of use on which days? Which I also think could maybe be tightened up a little bit.
right, so a year ago, in February of 2021 is when you did the code to tighten up the gas powered. So then you restricted the use of the equipment, the gas powered leaf blowers and gas powered hedge trimmers, to prohibit on weekdays prior to 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m., on Saturdays prior to 9 a.m. and after 1 p.m., and all day on Sundays and all federal and state holidays. This did not prohibit a homeowner from using them, but it did prohibit a contractor or an employee of the homeowner to use one.
How to go left to right here?
Are battery operated? Would they be able to be used, or are they allowed?
Yes.
Do you want a little more input before you guys discuss it? Because I've got,
Well, I'd like to get input from the board.
okay, I just, some of the numbers are inaccurate that you gave.
Yeah, I'd like to hear Bill when we're done talking.
Okay.
Who would monitor this?
Same people who monitor all our ordinances.
So you get someone complaining and they call the police.
Code enforcement, John,
John
Yeah.
first?
not necessarily because he's not always here. He's only here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But those three agencies would monitor it.
Wait, three?
Police department,
Yeah,
code enforcement, and John. John kind of being on the bottom of that.
the code enforcement is part of police.
No,
No,
that's a
no, it isn't.
separate department over the town of Southampton.
Oh, okay. Does Sag Harbor have a policy? Or do you know what
Yeah,
that is?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I just for the board's edification, I ran through, I drafted Southampton when I was the village attorney in Southampton. So I'm very familiar with that. I pulled the town of East Hampton, the village of East Hampton. Sag Harbor, again, more of a dense village than ours.
Yeah.
Has similar 8 AM to 5 PM limitation Monday to Friday. On Saturday, Sunday, and holidays, it's prohibited. Interestingly, their use of a leaf blower also means all including electric engine or motor powered. So they ban electric and gas for after those time periods. So ours is just gas powered leaf blowers. But Sag Harbor again is just no dates, no blockouts, no summer season blockouts.
Oh, all the
just 8
time.
o'clock. Yep.
And that's for all leaf blowers?
Include electric and gas.
Okay.
Well, they actually don't have that many large properties.
Yeah, I think that's probably why, and also how close they are. If you hear an electric whining,
Yeah.
leaf blower right next door, you're gonna, the fence line is probably really close. Southampton Village, for instance, is much like as Michael proposes. Gas powered leaf blowers shall not be used from May 20th to September 20th. And then after those timeframes, it has the same hour restrictions that we have. Weekdays 8 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1. Actually, Southampton goes to 5 PM on Saturdays, and everybody prohibits it on Sundays and holidays.
And Sag Harbor's 8 to 5 on Monday.
You'd be in favor of a seasonal?
Yes, and I would also add, maybe we would change the 8 to 6 on Monday through Friday, or actually Friday to 8 to 5. Tell out.
Most of the time, it's dark.
Not in the summer.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Marilyn?
I am 100% in favor of banning leaf blowers. They're so toxic. They're very dangerous for the men who are.
All leaf blowers are just gas?
No, just gas. Electric, I have no problem with. If people want to blow their leaves, they can, but gas, I'm opposed to at any time of year. But I think Michael had a good point. It gives, doing it seasonally, at least for a period of time, gives the landscaping companies the ability to get used to using the electric blowers. I think they're so toxic for our environment and so detrimental to the health of, I last year when we talked about it, I have to admit, I didn't read further about it. I knew they polluted and I just knew generally that they were way too loud. But when the whole, the fact that they're terribly unhealthy for people who are using them, it's to me, there's no question about it to ban them.
Bill?
We'll take a different view. I think our present code is reasonably restricted enough. And I understand there's a problem with the pollution and stuff, but I don't see how letting them use it from September through April is not any less polluting than May to September. I think we gave it a lot of thought, and we also included hedge trimmers, which again are are a menace in the noise department. So I'm in favor of just leaving it, the code the way it is.
Bill, you want
Oh, I'll stand up. Hey, thank you, Michael, for being an activist. It's great. It's nice to have people standing up and whatever. But it's going to sound like I'm picking your part, but I'm not really. There are some inaccuracies in the mailer we sent out. The noise levels, well, make it clear, I blow my own leaves about 6 times a year. If I do it with a rake, it takes me a little less than a day. If I do it with a leaf blower, and I do have a very big leaf blower, it takes me less than an hour. So I run a leaf blower a little bit less than 6 hours a year. And I'm 70 years old, so raking is less of an option. But I guess under this, I'd be exempted. In terms of noise level, you know, the technology keeps changing. And the leaf blower I have is a pretty large one. And I looked up, it's rated at 73 decibels. It's about 10 years old. And in terms of pollution, it meets California air quality standards. And then so I looked at some of the other, let's see, Echo, Husqvarna, and Steel. Steel is a big one in this area because it's a pretty good distributor. The biggest one out there is rated at 79 decibels. You know, the 100 decibel figure you gave out is pretty extreme, but 79 is quite loud. In terms of air pollution, all of them, everybody bills them to California standards because they distribute them nationwide. Let's see, in some of California, municipalities regulated leaf blowers, all the equipment, to no more than 65 decibels. Supposedly, common conversation is 60 decibels, so they have to be fairly quiet. There is a big difference between 60 decibels and 65. But there are a lot of products out there that meet that standard. I'm not suggesting that's what we should do because it becomes difficult to enforce. I was thinking more along the line of, instead of asking government to come in and put its thumb on everybody, if everybody who sent an email to the board, this is a small village, if everybody went out and talked to their adjacent neighbors and said, hey, why don't you either get your landscaper to go electric or get one of the low noise units, you could do this without, you know, pulling the rug on everything that's going on now. I think, you know, grassroots action, just people talking to neighbors, could probably handle a lot of this. I know there's some people who don't want to talk to anybody, but I mean, it is another way. I mean, we tend not to have neighborhoods around here anymore. There used to be congregating places, and a lot of people hide behind their hedges and don't know each other anymore. And it might be a way to get the community to get together a little bit and band together and simply tell the landscaping crews that they need to go at it a different way, instead of having the village make a one-size-fits-all kind of rule about it. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Thanks.
So I wanted to just ask you a couple questions about what you spoke about. So in gas-powered leaf blowers, they're 2-stroke engines. Is yours a 2-stroke engine? I mean,
Yeah.
So that's the problem with 2-stroke engines, is that they are about 1/3 of the fuel gets spewed into the air. It's just an outdated technology. Motorcycles stopped using 2-stroke engines in 1980. So it's not just about the noise. It's about terrible pollution that we really all have to start to address. We have to be responsible. And it's about, you know, it is about, there are health, you know, the people who own the landscaping companies may not be the ones who are holding these gas leaf blowers. And unless it's regulated, they've already got these machines. They're not going to go out and replace them unless They have to. So we're talking not just about the noise, which I would love it if it wasn't so loud, but also about the environment and health. I mean, I think the three things together, it's pretty easy for people to, there's not a lot of leaves in the summer. You know, the leaves fall in the fall, and I don't think it's a lot to ask of people.
They like to blow their grass clippings.
Well, the
That's
landscapers
easy.
could collect the grass clippings with their machines. You know, there are other alternatives to that. Or they could use electric blowers, and even the ones that, you know, it's not as convenient if you have to use if you have to plug it in, but there's the ones that they don't last as long, but they could have more, and they're not expensive as these machines go. They could have multiple machines. There are workarounds where the landscapers could not be, you know, I don't know. I just feel strongly about it.
From what my view is, I think in the fall, it's really no reasonable alternative, economically reasonable alternative to a gas blower or large volumes of leaves. But I do agree that, you know, during the summer months in particular, most of the leaf blowing is not leaf blowing, it's grass blowing and cleaning walks and porches and so forth. And that can easily be done with not even very expensive electric broom, as they're called. So I don't see that as really posing any significant hardship on the landscapers themselves. From what I've read, and I'm not going out of my way to read it, but progress is being made in the electrical equipment in terms of the power generated and the life of batteries to do it. You can't walk around a 2-acre parcel with the electric cord in your hand, but the battery technology is being improved for these electric blowers, even the big strap-on kinds, and that is expected to improve. There's no reason why it can't. An electric motor can teach you more torque than a gas mower, and in automobiles, there's no reason why you can't have a high torquing electric blower. But I think, as you know, again, another transitional step. I don't really think it is going to create an undue hardship on landscapers to not use leaf blowers from May 20th to September 20th. I'm glad we're not talking about hedge clipping, because there's no question that the gas powered hedge clippers are far, far more efficient and capable than the electric ones.
And I don't think people clip their hedges every week. No, that's.
There are timeframes they do, like July 4th, around July 4th or before, and in the fall, right? Bill,
But,
the timeframes for hedge trimming?
oh. Feel that way.
Okay.
I mean, I have a lot of hedges. As my children know, but I limit it to twice a year. And on the big ones on perimeter, I'll sometimes wait till once a year. But if you're doing it once a year, you've got to have a gas powered trimmer.
Right,
There's no question.
No problem.
So I'm perfectly willing to set a public hearing on, and see what the public reaction is, if any, uh, for a ban on gas-powered leaf blowers between May 20th and September 20th. And excluding homeowners or their tenants.
So,
Brian, we do not have a draft local law to lay before the board at this point.
That's what I was just looking at. Yeah,
Okay.
So,
Then let's look, it's a long way till May 20th.
yeah, no problem.
So
I can draft up the public hearing notice for you and the proposed local law, just with the amendment to that section 30-9 to add May 20th and September 20th as a gas-powered prohibition.
Well, we'll review it at the next month, set a hearing, and there's no rush to do it.
so then the hearing would be held in March. Which was
Presumably,
still plenty of
yes.
time,
Yeah.
right time. Okay, just,
Okay. I also just wanted to note, just in closing on the point, was the village of North Haven, I noticed recently in November of 2021, just put in an effective May 1st, 2022, the use of gas-powered leaf blowers by residents, contractors, professional landscapers, gardeners, and or caretakers will be prohibited between May 1st and October 31st. So they're moving to a ban as well, and then just in that village.
May 1 to October 1.
October 31st, actually.
From
Yep.
all gas powered anything?
Gas-powered leaf blowers.
Oh,
In the balance of the year, they have the same, similar, not same,
including the residential use. Mhm.
by residents, contractors, which surprised me.
So the homeowner is not permitted
Yes.
to use.
Do all of that for the March meeting. I'll have for the next meeting for discussion in the March meeting.
And everybody's all right with the 8 o'clock. Are you suggesting maybe reducing the end time to 5 o'clock?
Well, maybe just on Fridays or no? Is that
Oh,
like,
yeah, that would be good.
cocktail hour time.
Hmm.
Cocktail
Why
hour.
just on
Fridays.
Friday?
well, I don't know, Monday through Thursday is a work day and let them get an extra hour in. And then on Friday, everybody sits on their patio for a cocktail at 5, right?
I do agree.
Come on over.
Do you have enough ice? Do you have enough ice?
I'll go with the flow here. If you all want
Fine
5
with me.
o'clock, it's fine by me.
Well, I don't mean for it to be Monday through Thursday. We'll let them work a little longer. Just for Friday. Is that crazy?
Just make it
Nope.
longer. So we'll have 5 o'clock on Fridays.
Yeah,
1 o'clock on Saturdays, and not at all on Sunday.
and 6 Monday through Thursday.
Okay, it's 8 to 5.
Get that, Brian?
Yeah,
8 to 6, Monday through Thursday.
Right.
correct.
Don't you have to go outside in the morning to have your coffee?
Not before 8.
We're before 8,
Or be-
so you're good before 8.
Okay.
You go out early. We'll be able to-
Okay, Brian, so the draft is circulated and we'll say it at our next meeting.
Will do.
Thank you. I think this is going to make a tremendous difference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see. What I don't know is what is the decibels for the electric? I've never actually heard one.
I got one for my husband for Christmas, and he came inside and he said, I just blew the driveway. I didn't hear it at all. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the decibels are, but I can tell you it's a lot less than.
Yeah, I may use
Yeah.
it. It's just not anything like those gas.
Did you buy a steel?
And you got
He's happy.
a little hole lead.
Very happy.
Are you happy? Where are we here?
Under curb cut excavation regulations.
I want to give Ryan a chance to review those. And we can discuss it again.
Okay.
So I'll put this on the agenda for February, Don.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody have anything else they want to bring up?
Maybe that came in.
There's somebody else on the screen. Ma'am, are you just here to waste your afternoon? No, we can't hear you.
I know. You can hear me now, no? All right. No, I'm very much in favor of the ban. I had some Zoom meetings in the summer, and invariably, when I was having a meeting, that thing was outside, and it's awful. It's intolerable, really. So that's the noise, and the fumes also, they're toxic. And I'm completely in favor, and I would say, well, when you say leaf blower, that includes the grass blowing, because in the summer months, there aren't leaves, right? So there's also another tool that they use, an edge cutter. I don't know if that's what it's called, but to trim the edges of the beds or the walks. And I think those are this, also gas powered, because they make a lot of noise.
Excuse me, Don, just for the record, trustee deputy mayor Lisa Durante Thayer just joined the meeting.
Okay.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Wow,
Hi.
Hi.
we can recognize you.
Well, I had an eye procedure, so I have to keep sunglasses on for another couple hours, but life is good. It could have been worse.
There's another gentleman on the phone, Max.
Oh, hi. I was just coming to see what the meetings were all about. I didn't have a specific thing to share. So thank you for letting me sit in.
You a Sagaponic resident?
Yes, off of Parsonage.
Well,
Mostly in the summer. Yes, I've been acquainted with Carrie at the farm stand. So hi, Carrie.
keep coming.
Thank you. I was just curious to see it. So thank you for having me.
Okay, if there's nothing else, committee reports, and we've got vouchers and those things. Okay. That to get resolution to the no, it's- red line. There's a big one here. Do we need a special vote on that one?
Well, what one is that, Don?
No.
No, you did it last month, so now this is just the payment portion of it.
All right. Can I get a motion to appropriate $48,130.38 in the general fund?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
For the tree fund, $2,442.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The planning trust and agency account, those are reimbursements, $5,632.86.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The capital highway fund, what is that for, Willie?
Bill, you have that, I believe it's for the work that Jim's been doing on that drainage down on Daniels Lane.
Is that part of the appropriated, or is this in addition to it?
Would be in addition to it.
And so this is what?
Him looking into finding information.
Right, on the railings and then the final.
Well, he's already reported to us on.
Yes, that's correct, Don. Yes.
So that. Okay. $4,179.75. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trust and agency, this is the returning a large portion of the bond performance for the Held subdivision, $116,635. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, board and committee reports. Lisa?
Yes, I can do the zoning board report from last Friday. They started with 108 Town Line Road. And we've had them before at the zoning board, but they asked for some new variances. It's part of that old 1920 subdivision at the end on the right, those railroad tiny lots. And basically it included, I believe, an outdoor shower, a hot tub, and some other small items that when presented, the board did not feel it encroached or would be affecting the neighbors, being that the lot has a negative building area. Everything they do on these tiny lots has to come to zoning. But anyway, the long and short of it is the board unanimously felt it was no problem, and the lawyer would be drawing up for next month's decision. And then the second item that was discussed was our repeat visitor of the Petrillo property. And that they spent some time presenting their new thoughts and angles in reference to the building inspector's interpretation of our current laws and other things. And discussion went on for, I don't know, 2 hours or so. And pardon?
Great.
3. See, I lost track of time, truthfully. And so anyway, the long and short of it is there's always more to come on that, and we will hear more about it in the future. And then I have one other item, if I can, or if you want, I can wait to the end. But I was going to volunteer myself to do some legwork for next holiday season to get the costs and what agreements we would have to make as a village to take on the responsibility of the tree on the village green by the cemetery. And if I got all that information, I'd like to, bring it back to once I get it from Jackson Dodd and any of the other expenses that it would incur. I would like to bring it back, and then maybe we can either budget it in June or at least make a commitment to doing it. the other item I wanted to throw in that pot too was the flagpole. The flagpole has some potential rot. When it's super windy, Tom White told me they have to put a very small flag up because it's the bottom is moving. So initially I wanted to look into all of that because it's all kind of in the same area of that small section of the village property at the end there. And I think we would want the flagpole, at least I think everybody would want the flagpole to remain there and not get rotten. So anyway, if that's okay with the rest of the board, I would like to explore those items and get prices and get back to you guys.
I have a question.
You've got to be careful there.
Okay, well, I don't want to get us in trouble. I agree.
We cannot make any improvements outside of the village right of way. For example, the Christmas tree is not on village property. I think the flagpole is, but we're gonna have to.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think the flagpole is. I agree.
We're not empowered to appropriate any village funds for improvements on private property.
Well, maybe what we potentially could do, if we could just find out what the fosters and people and the toppings incurred for the process, we'd have a better idea and maybe we could get it with donations. I don't know. But I thought if we didn't know what the project could cost, it would be best to start the conversation if I got the information.
But they're two different things. This one.
Yes, I agree.
Christmas
but-
tree decoration and lighting.
Mhm.
The other is replacing the tree itself, which we.
Yeah, the
cannot-
tree has issues and might need being replaced in another year or two. That's correct, yeah. But what I wanted to do is get all the information, come back and see, then we can step in the right place to maybe do a community project, either with us or with volunteers, but we'd have the information to get it done correctly.
Was the tree lit this year?
No, it was not.
Yeah, I kept going by and going by and going by and never saw it lit. After Lee told us Jackson Dogs would have it lit for us.
I think we misunderstood Lee and I don't think she's on, well, maybe she's on the line and I can't see the thing, but I think what Lee meant that Jackson would be willing with his equipment to do the lights. I think when she said he'd take it over, I think she was talking about more of a paid job than a volunteer job. But that's another thing. I would obviously talk to Jackson and ask that. And I also wanted to find out what's the deal with the tree, if is it going to fall over? What is the illness? What's going on? So
You can see through it really well. That's what makes the lights so perfect.
perfect. Yeah. No, I know.
I did speak with Mary Lee, and because I thought maybe I dropped the ball on it, but she said no, she and Jagger just didn't get it together to get the tree lit. And she did also mention that the tree is gonna have to be replaced.
Well, that I know we can't do.
Could we have, is there a place on village property we could plant a Christmas tree?
Who owns it? The cemetery?
Cemetery association.
The Cemetery Association is for founding families, I believe.
Creation of a private group of friends of the Christmas tree or whatever, and do it by donations. But the village cannot fund planting a new tree there. If we can find another place you want to put it, and it's on village property, we can.
Well, how about I get the information and, have it all listed out as to all the things that currently exist. And then we approach it with the knowledge of what we're talking about, you know? And maybe we could get a volunteer group of people to donate to it and handle it themselves. But I think without the information, we're kind of taking a little bit about what Mary Lee said, a little bit what Lee said, maybe Jagger said, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get it all in a proposal of this is what it would entail. So that we didn't have another year without it lit, as well as the other day, I brought a flag down to Thomas because the storm ripped the flag in half on the pole, and I just took it out of Roger's store. But the reality is that all these things have to get done for it to exist, you know what I mean? And it occurred to me that it would be something I'd enjoy looking into and getting the information, and then we can look at it as a group.
Fine,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Carrie, you got anything you want to bring up?
I spoke on the police department last week, and I think that's all I need to say. What we spoke about. I don't have anything more.
Rhodey, will you set up a meeting with us, with the chief? No later than mid-June? No,
Just to get back to the Napa Highway fund that we already approved. It was for drainage consultations
Yeah, consultation.
for Daniels Lane in Gibson. So, but that's all I have to report.
but as far as I know, once they complete this $20,000 repair, that's it.
Putting it on Daniel's Lane. Yes.
Now,
Not much to report. I'm going to be listening to a meeting with Rhodey, I think, a meeting that Ann Welker has organized about being able to keep the pond open or open up the pond when we need to, and not having to rely on federal agencies. So we'll see how that progresses. I'll report back.
now that she's not a trustee, does she carry any weight?
She is a trustee.
Didn't she get the few?
No.
No, she's still a trustee.
Yeah, Ann Walker, yeah, she's still
Yeah,
trustee.
but she's been trying to do that for a couple of years now.
No, I know that. I thought she was not reelected.
She almost, you probably saw it at one point where it was very unsure, but then she did.
Great.
I was worried about that too.
Yeah.
Thought that she hadn't gotten elected for
Okay.
6 hours or something. I was like, oh no.
Bill, do you have anything you want to say?
No.
Okay, then can I get a motion to adjourn until February 9th, is it?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Yes, been mercifully short.
Wow.
See what happens when you don't come, Lisa?
I know, and on the car ride back, because I obviously couldn't drive, Erin said to me, "You might make your meeting." I was
Okay.
very surprised.
Feel better.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be fine. The worst case scenario wasn't true, so that was great. This is a problem, but not a bad one. It could be worse.
Good.
Good.
All right.
Let's get them this week.
We'll have a chicken coop here to talk about.
All right, so
Thinking
get that
about
next
putting a
one.
pig pen in like that.
Everyone take care.
Get it down.